What's up, traders? We got a long video ahead, so like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. Now, when we're looking at the overall market, we're currently in price discovery mode. So the only key levels we can look forward to is our psychological levels. So 18,100, 18,200, 18,300 on the NASDAQ, so on and so forth. But right now, the key levels I am looking at is 18,250 and 18,500. If you paid attention to previous videos, I've been saying for a while now that 18K is the level that I'm looking at on the NASDAQ. So congratulations if you follow through. We finally made it to 18K. I also said in other videos that 18,500, I just wouldn't be surprised we got there. So surprise, I'm still bullish, right? So those are the key levels that I'm looking at as far as upside. As far as downside goes, if we wanted to be bearish, key level I'm looking at is 18, not 18, 17,875, and then 17,800. If we break below 17,800, I'm looking at 17,700. If we just so happen to break below that, then we'll go from there. But as of now, can't help but be bullish. I'll still remain bullish, and there's really not much else to go over as far as the Nasdaq goes. SPY, same thing. We have to look at psych levels now. So as far as the SPY goes, I'm looking at 5,050, and then after that, we're looking at 5,075, 5,080, give or take. As far as downside goes on the SPY, we're looking at 5,029, 5,030, give or take. If we break below those key levels, then I'm looking at 5,000. All right. So those are your key levels to look out for. Again, not much to go over. Still bullish. Shocker. Surprise. Other things we have to keep in mind as far as me staying bullish is that typically, historically, we are bullish heading into CPI. We do have that this week. And when Fridays typically end green, 75% of the time or more, Mondays end up being bullish or green as well. So just keep those things in mind. All right. So as far as stocks go, first stock I'm looking at is Airbnb. So keep in mind, first thing we have to go over is that Airbnb does have earnings February 13th. So always keep that in mind. Earnings is 100% gambling. It's a hit or miss. So just keep that in mind before you trade Airbnb. We are currently in 175 cons for February 23rd on Airbnb, and we got in at around 145. Right now, Airbnb is at 147.6, so we are currently sitting on profit. Now, if we paid attention to what happened with Expedia, Expedia pretty much crashed and burned for its earnings, and it tried to drag Airbnb down with it. But despite dragging the Airbnb down, Airbnb continues to hold this level of 142. All right, so if we get a closer look, we keep coming down here over and over. We keep coming down. Expedia tried to bring it down. We continue to reject, continue to reject, continue to reject, and we break back up. So now, no matter how many times we get towards 142, buyers continue to step in, and as you guys can see with all these wicks, buyers step in and they just bring Airbnb back up. So that gives me reason to believe that Airbnb wants to see more upside. Again, they do have earnings, so that could be another reason why buyers are just stepping in and trying to hold to see what happens on earnings. But I do believe that Airbnb can potentially beat earnings and we see a higher move. As far as key levels I'm looking at 148.10. If we break and hold above that, then I am looking at 150.6. And then my key level will be 154 to 155 psych level. As far as short-term targets I'm looking at 165. And then after that, as far as long-term targets go, I wouldn't be surprised that Airbnb hits 200. All right. Now, looking at the weekly, we got a lot going on the weekly. So we have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. I didn't mark the left shoulder, but hopefully you can see it. So we have an inverse head and shoulders pattern, shoulder, head, shoulder. You can call this a cup and handle pattern if you want. There is a bull flag right here as well. If you look on the daily chart, you see that the bull flag played out pretty good, okay, or is currently playing out, and we are currently hugging this trend. Also, if we look at the weekly, we have a rising wedge pattern and we broke below the rising wedge. It looked like it was a false breakdown, and it looks like we're breaking back in, and we potentially want to go higher. The top of the rising wedge is at around 170. We'll say 172, give or take. So again, I think Airbnb looks really, really good given everything that I just said. So keep this on your watch list. Again, we are currently in 175 contracts for February 23rd. If you would like to follow, always do your own due diligence though. Next stock I'm looking at is Shopify. So Shopify looks really, really good. As you guys can see, there was a ascending triangle. We can't say it's invalidated because it did break down, but then it broke back in. So it's clear as day that this trend is really, really respected. And then we broke back up. Now, as far as key levels go, we broke and held above 88. We closed above 88 actually. So 88 87.5. We broke and held above it. And the move that I would like to see on Shopify is a break and retest. We already got our break. So a retest of 88, 87, give or take, and then we break higher. Key levels to the upside I'm looking at as far as Shopify goes is 93.2 and then 95.06 psych level. As far as short-term targets, I'm looking at 100 on Shopify, and then I wouldn't be surprised that we see a move all the way to at least 130 on Shopify. They also have earnings February 13th after hours as well, so just keep that in mind as well. But I do have reason to believe that Shopify will go crazy and will be really good for long term. The contracts are pretty juiced right now, so, just keep that in mind. They're pretty expensive. There also is a gap at around 102.34 range on Shopify, so keep that in mind as well. And at some point in time, I do believe we'll need to retest this. Hopefully, I can get it on screen. At some point in time, we do need to retest this area here. We have not retested it, so let me mark it real quick. So right here, we have yet to retest. What is this? We'll say 129, so 130, give or take. So we have yet to retest this. And the thing about key levels and supply and demand zones is at some point in time, we have to come back and retest them. It may be a year from now, it may be a day from now, it may be years from now, okay? But at some point in time, we will have to retest this 130 level. It always happens like clockwork, so be on the lookout for that move. I honestly wouldn't be surprised earnings be the cause for that move. So be careful. Earnings is always gambling, like I always say. And if we look at unusual whales, link will be in the description below. If we look at unusual whales, there is a 2 million premium for 95 calls on May 17th, 2024. Again, very expensive contracts, but I do think Shopify can go much higher than 95. We also have some more premiums. We got 500K premium for 110 calls, so on and so forth. So just something to keep in mind. If you have the premium or capital to do it, then just be on the lookout for those contracts. I think those contracts are really good. We're currently not in Shopify. Probably will enter it on depending on how Monday opens. Again, I would like to see a retest of 88, 87 before I enter. But if we don't get that, then I'll probably play with some change and get some cheap contracts up to the upside. Next stock I'm looking at is Amazon. So we are currently in Amazon. We trimmed some contracts before market close. We got in at around 170. Our key level to look out for on Amazon was 171.5, and we broke above 171.5, which was, I believe, a weekly key level. My chart's acting up. But 175, 171.5 was my key level. Once we broke above that, I added more contracts to the play, and we broke above 174, which was our earnings high, and we closed above 174. So that is a very good sign. The next key level I'm looking at on Amazon is 177, 178, give or take. And then after that, I'm looking at a move towards 188. I've said in multiple videos that I would not be surprised that Amazon sees 200. And holding above these key levels, our earnings high, and our weekly levels says a lot. Okay, so that's another reason why I'm bullish heading into this week on Amazon. Right now, we are in May 17th calls. Actually, we can look at it on the Discord. Right, yeah. So we are in Amazon to 15 calls May 17th. We got them for like 82 cents. Nothing crazy. It was really cheap. These contracts paid out really, really well. Everybody was talking about them on social media. Everybody was talking about them on various brokers. So yeah, these paid out very well. It's like a dollar move. We got like 30% off of it. So yeah, if you want access to these plays, again, Discord link is in the description below. Stocks, crypto, Forex, we do it all, right? But otherwise, that's what I'm looking for as far as Amazon. If we just so happen to break back below 170, I will be very, very cautious with Amazon. If we break below 167, then I have reason to believe we'll start filling up this gap around all the way down to 162. All right. So that's all I got for Amazon. Really like to play. We're currently in it already. 177, 188 is my next targets. Next stock I'm looking at is Micron Tech. All right. So Micron Tech, as you guys can see, we have a bull flag on the daily chart. Right now, this is a monthly key level. If we just so happen to break above, I would say 188.10, well, not 188, 88. above Micron Tech, I have reason to believe that will see a move towards 100. Okay, this is a very, very strong level. If this bull flag plays out, I do think MU will see 100. That's really all I have to say about this thing. I mean, it just looks really, really good. If we look at unusual whales, let's see. I believe there was an actual contract or a play for 100. Yep. So 100 call, we got 100 call for May 17, 2024 with a 3 million premium. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. That looks really, really good. Okay. So we're currently not in the play. Hopefully we can get in it on Monday if the market doesn't jump too high right away. So yeah, I will be on the lookout for a move above 88 before entering this play. But if you want to jump the gun, by all means, that's up to you. Next stock I'm looking at, well, that we're currently in already is Tesla. So if you paid attention to my Tesla videos and you actually followed through, congratulations. We got in at 180 and we ran all the way to 194. Now keep in mind that in the Discord, I did alert to collect profit somewhere, but we alerted to collect profit on Tesla. I don't know, but I alerted to collect profit on Tesla once we got to 194. So we did like 200 calls all the way from 180 to 194. I've been saying that 194 is our key level. I do believe that Tesla will see more upside. If we go down to the 4 hour time frame, we entered more contracts at the rejection of 190. So I believe around this candle right here. Actually, let's go to the 2 hour. Maybe we'll see it better. So once Tesla hit 194, I alerted to the group to start collecting profit. And then once I saw that we were rejecting this level around here where we bounced and we broke and then we retested this zone here at around 190.5, that's when I entered more calls for, well, 200 calls for, I believe, this week. All right. So I do believe that once Tesla breaks above 194, look for a move towards 197. And then after 197, I believe we're going to start filling up this gap towards 207. I still think Tesla will go much higher than that. I think Tesla will head towards 230, 240, give or take. Pay attention to the news because Tesla has been moving off news a lot lately. But if it doesn't, then I would have reason to believe that if the market does go higher, then it will just carry Tesla right along with it. So again, key level 194, we break and hold above that. 197. After that, you're looking at a move towards 207. Long term, looking at 230, 240, give or take. All right. That's all I have as far as stocks goes. Hopefully you guys do your own due diligence. Make sure you back test, make sure you understand what I'm talking about. And if it doesn't make sense to you, you probably shouldn't trade it. Okay. Otherwise, that's really all I have. Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. If you need access to the Discord, link is in the description below. If you are having a hard time drawing out supply and demand zones, support and resistance, patterns, whatever the case may be, Chart Prime is the indicator for you. Has some of the best indicators in the game, in my opinion. So check out that link in the description below. If you're new to the stock market in general, check out the Robinhood link in the description below. You get a free stock, Microsoft, Apple, all that fun stuff. And that's all I have. Until the next video, have a good one, traders.